In the small town of Chita, nestled amidst snow-covered hills, there stood a house on Emerskaya Street. It was a quaint old building with a history as chilling as the winter winds that swept through its corridors when night descended. As darkness draped the town, peculiar drafts began to stir within the house. These drafts were not mere gusts of wind, they were something more sinister, something that seemed to linger, as if trapped within the very walls themselves. They whispered secrets of forgotten times, carrying with them a medley of odors: the scent of decaying foliage, the tang of tar, the sweetness of fresh apples, the warmth of hot asphalt, and the sharp bite of pungent perfumes. Amidst this eerie atmosphere, there was a room in the house where a black dressing table stood, its surface reflecting the flickering candlelight like a darkened mirror. And upon this dressing table, a woman's face would materialize, emerging from the shadows with an unsettling presence. The woman's visage was ghastly, with hollowed cheeks and tired eyes encircled by dark shadows. A faded handkerchief was draped over her short-cropped hair, slipping down to reveal a face etched with sorrow and anger. At first, her muttering was incomprehensible, a jumble of disjointed sounds lost in the drafty whispers of the house. But then, her expression contorted into a grimace of fury, and amidst the cacophony of her incoherent ramblings, a chilling exclamation pierced the air. "Damn you!" It was as though the very essence of the house had coalesced into this spectral form, vengeful spirit, trapped between the realms of the living and the dead, bound by some unfathomable curse. The townsfolk whispered tales of the ghostly apparition that haunted the old house on Emerskaya Street. Some said she was a woman wronged in life, seeking retribution against those who had crossed her. Others spoke of a tragic love affair that had ended in betrayal and despair, leaving her soul to wander the halls in eternal torment. But regardless of the stories spun by fearful tongues, one thing remained clear: the ghost of Emerskaya Street was not to be trifled with. For those who dared to venture too close, to peer into the darkness that lurked within the house, risked awakening something malevolent and ancient, something that hungered for vengeance. And so, the mystery of the ghostly woman and the house on Emerskaya Street endured, casting a shadow over the town of Chita, a reminder of the darkness that lurked just beyond the veil of the living world. Rumors of the ghostly presence on Emerskaya Street spread like wildfire through the town of Chita. Some dismissed the tales as mere superstition, while others shuddered at the mere mention of the haunted house. But amidst the fear and skepticism, there were those who remained curious, drawn to the enigma that shrouded the old building. Among them was Anna, a young woman with an insatiable thirst for adventure. Despite the warnings of her friends and family, she couldn't resist the allure of the unknown. Determined to unravel the mystery of the ghostly apparition, she set out one moonlit night to explore the house on Emerskaya Street. As Anna approached the decrepit building, she could feel a chill creeping down her spine. The air seemed to thicken with an otherworldly presence, and the faint echo of whispered voices danced on the edge of her perception. Ignoring the flutter of unease in her chest, she pushed open the creaking door and stepped into the darkness beyond. The interior of the house was bathed in an eerie half-light, casting long shadows that seemed to writhe and twist with a life of their own. Anna's footsteps echoed hollowly against the floorboards as she ventured further into the gloom, her heart pounding in her chest. Suddenly, she heard a soft sound, like the faint rustle of fabric against wood. Startled, she turned toward the source of the noise and gasped in astonishment. There, before her eyes, stood the black dressing table, its surface gleaming faintly in the dim light. And upon the dressing table, the spectral figure of the woman materialized once more, her features contorted in anguish and rage. Anna watched in fascination as the ghostly apparition began to speak, her voice a haunting melody that sent shivers down her spine. "Who are you?" Anna whispered, her voice barely more than a breath in the stillness of the room. The ghostly woman turned toward her, her eyes burning with an intensity that made Anna's blood run cold. "I am trapped," she whispered, her voice echoing with a sorrowful resonance. "Trapped between the worlds of the living and the dead, bound by a curse that I cannot break." Anna's heart went out to the tormented spirit before her. "How can I help you?" she asked, her voice trembling with emotion. But before the ghostly woman could respond, a sudden gust of wind swept through the room, extinguishing the flickering candlelight and plunging them into darkness. Anna felt a chill settle over her like a shroud as she fumbled in the darkness, searching for the door. And then, just as suddenly as it had begun, the wind died away, leaving Anna alone in the silent darkness of the house on Amherskaya Street. But as she stood there, her pulse pounding in her ears, she couldn't shake the feeling that she was being watched, that something unseen lingered in the shadows, waiting and watching with bated breath. With a shiver, Anna reached out and pushed open the door, stepping out into the cool night air. But as she turned to glance back at the house, she couldn't help but feel a pang of curiosity, a longing to unravel the secrets that lay hidden within its walls. And so, the mystery of the ghostly woman and the house on Amherskaya Street continued to haunt Anna's thoughts, beckoning her back into the darkness with a promise of answers yet to be discovered. But whether those answers would bring solace or damnation, only time would tell. In the days that followed her encounter with the ghostly woman, Anna found herself consumed by thoughts of the mysterious entity that haunted the house on Amherskaya Street. Despite the warnings of those around her, she couldn't shake the feeling that there was more to the story than met the eye. Determined to uncover the truth, Anna delved into the history of the old building, scouring archives and libraries for any mention of the ghostly apparition that prowled its halls. But the more she searched, the more elusive the answers seemed to become, slipping through her fingers like grains of sand in the wind. Yet, even as frustration threatened to overwhelm her, Anna refused to give up. There was something about the ghostly presence of Amherskaya Street that called to her, a whisper of destiny that urged her ever onward in her quest for understanding. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and darkness descended upon the town, Anna returned to the house once more. This time, she came prepared, armed with candles and matches to light her way through the labyrinthine corridors that stretched out before her. As she stepped across the threshold, Anna felt a familiar chill settle over her, sending shivers racing down her spine. But she pressed on, her determination unyielding in the face of the unknown. Deeper and deeper into the darkness she ventured until at last, she found herself standing once more before the black dressing table where the ghostly woman had appeared. With trembling hands, Anna lit the candles and cast their warm glow across the room, banishing the shadows that clung to the corners like specters in the night. And there, in the flickering light, she saw it, a glimmer of something hidden beneath the layers of dust and decay that coated the surface of the dressing table. With a sense of anticipation building in her chest, Anna reached out and brushed aside the detritus of time, revealing a small, intricately carved box nestled among the clutter. Her heart pounding with excitement, Anna lifted the lid of the box and peered inside. What she found took her breath away, a collection of letters, faded and yellowed with age, bound together with a length of frayed ribbon. As she read through the letters, Anna's eyes widened in astonishment. They spoke of love and loss, betrayal and redemption, the tragic tale of the ghostly woman who had once walked the halls of the house on Amherskaya Street. But as she reached the final letter, Anna's blood ran cold. For there, in elegant script upon the yellowed parchment, was a warning of a curse that had been unleashed upon the house, condemning its inhabitants to an eternity of torment and despair. With a sinking feeling in the pit of her stomach, Anna realized the truth. The ghostly woman was not the villain of this story, but its victim, trapped in a cycle of suffering that could only be broken by uncovering the secrets of the past. And so, with newfound determination burning in her heart, Anna vowed to unravel the mystery of the curse that bound the house on Amherskaya Street. But little did she know that her quest would lead her down a path fraught with danger and darkness, where the line between the living and the dead blurred and twisted with every step she took. For the spirits that dwelled within the walls of the old building were not content to remain hidden forever, and as Anna delved deeper into the heart of the mystery, she would soon discover that some secrets were better left buried in the shadows of the past. As Anna delved deeper into the secrets of the house on Amherskaya Street, she unearthed a tangled web of intrigue and betrayal that stretched back through the annals of time. Each revelation brought her closer to the heart of the mystery, yet also deeper into the clutches of the malevolent forces that lurked within the shadows. The more she learned, the more perilous her journey became. Strange occurrences plagued her every step, whispers in the dark, phantom footsteps echoing down empty corridors, and fleeting glimpses of shadowy figures that vanished as quickly as they appeared. But Anna refused to be deterred. Driven by a fierce determination to break the curse that bound the house, she pressed on, her resolve unyielding in the face of the unknown. With each passing day, the line between reality and nightmare blurred, until Anna could no longer be certain whether the horrors she encountered were truly of this world or the twisted creations of her own imagination. Yet, amidst the chaos and uncertainty, there was one thing that remained constant: the presence of the ghostly woman, her spectral form haunting Anna's every waking moment. And though the spirit's intentions remained shrouded in mystery, Anna couldn't shake the feeling that she held the key to unlocking the secrets of the curse that gripped the house in its icy embrace. As the days stretched into weeks, Anna's quest led her deeper into the heart of darkness, where the very fabric of reality seemed to fray at the edges. She uncovered ancient rituals and forbidden knowledge hidden within the depths of the house, each revelation bringing her closer to the truth yet pushing her further into the abyss. And then, just when Anna thought she had reached the end of her journey, she stumbled upon a discovery that would change everything. Hidden away in a long-forgotten chamber beneath the house, she found a crumbling manuscript, the diary of the woman who had first unleashed the curse upon the building centuries ago. As Anna pored over the pages, her heart pounding with anticipation, she uncovered the tragic tale of a love that had turned to madness, of betrayal and revenge that had spanned generations. And at the heart of it all was the ghostly woman, trapped between the worlds of the living and the dead, her soul bound to the house by a curse that could only be broken by an act of selfless sacrifice. With trembling hands, Anna realized what she must do. She must confront the darkness that lurked within the house, face the horrors that had tormented its inhabitants for centuries, and make the ultimate sacrifice to set the ghostly woman free. But as she prepared to confront the forces that threatened to consume her, Anna couldn't shake the feeling that she was not alone, that unseen eyes watched her every move, and unseen hands reached out to guide her down a path fraught with peril. And so, with the weight of destiny upon her shoulders, Anna braced herself for the final showdown with the malevolent forces that dwelled within the house on Emerskaya Street. But little did she know that the true horror had yet to reveal itself, lurking in the shadows just beyond her reach, waiting to ensnare her in its deadly embrace. As Anna stood on the threshold of the final confrontation with the malevolent forces that haunted the house on Emerskaya Street, she felt a sense of foreboding wash over her like a chilling tide. The weight of centuries of darkness bore down upon her, threatening to crush her beneath its oppressive weight. But despite the fear that gnawed at her heart, Anna knew that she could not turn back now. The fate of the ghostly woman, and perhaps even her own soul, hung in the balance, and she alone held the key to unlocking the secrets that had been hidden for so long. With resolve hardened like steel, Anna ventured into the depths of the house, each step echoing in the silence like a thunderous drumbeat. The air grew thick with anticipation, a tangible sense of malevolence hanging heavy in the stale atmosphere. As she moved through the shadowy corridors, Anna could feel eyes watching her from the darkness, unseen hands reaching out to grasp at her sanity. Whispers brushed against her skin like icy fingers, sending shivers racing down her spine. But still she pressed on, guided by a flickering flame of determination that refused to be extinguished. And then, at last, she reached the heart of the darkness, a hidden chamber where the true source of the curse awaited her. Within the chamber, Anna found herself face to face with a being of unspeakable horror, a creature neither living nor dead, its form twisted and contorted by centuries of malevolent energy. It radiated a palpable aura of dread, its eyes burning with an infernal fire that seemed to pierce straight through Anna's soul. Yet despite the terror that threatened to overwhelm her, Anna stood her ground, her gaze steady and unwavering. She knew that she must confront this creature, must face the darkness that had plagued the house for so long, if she was to have any hope of breaking the curse. With a voice that trembled only slightly, Anna spoke the words that she had rehearsed 1,000 times in her mind. "I know what you are," she said, her voice ringing out in the silence like a bell tolling in the night. "And I know what I must do to stop you." The creature's response was a soundless scream that echoed through the chamber like a wave of pure agony. It recoiled from Anna's words, its form writhing and twisting in torment. But Anna was undeterred. With a strength born of desperation, she reached deep within herself and unleashed a power that she had not known she possessed, a power fueled by love and courage, by the unyielding determination to set things right. And in that moment, as the light of her resolve blazed forth like a beacon in the darkness, the curse that had held the house in its grip for centuries began to unravel. The creature let out one final, anguished cry before dissipating into nothingness, its malevolent energy banished from the world forever. As the echoes of the creature's demise faded away, Anna felt a profound sense of peace settle over the house on Emerskaya Street. The darkness that had plagued its halls for so long was gone, replaced by a quiet stillness that seemed to whisper of hope and redemption. But even as Anna breathed a sigh of relief, she knew that her journey was far from over. For the true legacy of the house on Emerskaya Street lay not in its haunted past, but in the promise of a brighter future, a future where the sins of the past could be forgiven, and where the spirits of the dead could finally find rest. And so, with a newfound sense of purpose burning in her heart, Anna set out to rebuild the house on Emerskaya Street, not as a monument to its dark history, but as a beacon of hope and renewal for all who passed its threshold. But as she worked to restore the house to its former glory, Anna couldn't shake the feeling that the shadows of the past still lingered, watching and waiting with bated breath. And as she gazed up at the moonlit sky, she knew that her journey was far from over, that the true test of her courage and resolve had only just begun. For the darkness that had once consumed the house on Emerskaya Street had not been vanquished entirely, and somewhere, lurking in the depths of the night, a new evil stirred, waiting to unleash its fury upon the world once more. And yet, despite the lingering shadows and the specter of darkness that loomed on the horizon, there was a sense of triumph in Anna's heart, for she had faced the darkness head-on, and emerged victorious, bringing light and redemption to a place long shrouded in despair. As the days turned into weeks, and the weeks into months, the house on Emerskaya Street began to flourish once more. With each passing day, its walls echoed with laughter instead of lamentation, and its halls resonated with the joy of newfound freedom. Anna's efforts had not gone unnoticed by the townsfolk of Chita, who marveled at the transformation that had taken place within the once dreaded house. They whispered tales of Anna's bravery and resilience, weaving her deeds into the fabric of local legend. And though there were still whispers of the darkness that had once plagued the house, they were overshadowed by the hope and optimism that radiated from its restored walls. For Anna had proven that even the darkest of curses could be broken, and that love and courage were the most powerful weapons against the forces of evil. As she stood before the house on Emerskaya Street, basking in the warmth of the sun's golden rays, Anna felt a sense of peace settle over her like a comforting embrace. The journey had been long and arduous, fraught with danger and uncertainty, but in the end, it had been worth it. For she had not only freed the ghostly woman from her eternal torment, but had also brought healing and renewal to a place that had been lost to darkness for far too long. And as she looked out at the world stretching out before her, Anna knew that no matter what trials lay ahead, she would face them with the same courage and determination that had guided her through the darkest of nights. For in the end, it was not the darkness that defined her, but the light that shone from within, a light that would continue to illuminate the path forward, no matter how perilous the journey may be. And with a smile on her lips and hope in her heart, Anna stepped into the future, ready to face whatever adventures awaited her with open arms.